So many people say to me, Don, was Clellan as funny off the air as he was on? And you can probably answer that as well as I can, and they'd probably like to hear you answer it because I think you can put it better.
I think Clellan Card was the funniest man I have ever known, on camera or off camera. And I loved every minute that we worked together, and I will never forget those early morning, Saturday morning. We were on very early in the morning.
Terribly
Saturdays.
early.
And there was no such thing as tape in those days, as you recall, and we used to get in here at 6:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning after a late Friday night. And with the cameraman and the floor crew, we settled every important problem that the world ever had.
That was the educational part.
And he also, on Saturday morning, would say absolutely anything that came into his mind.
And did.
Several things that should not have come into his mind.
Those were the days when the impact of the show sort of went through the adults who probably are mommies and daddies now and were children then, or even their parents were getting a lot more out of those shows than the little types.
Well, they were fun.
One thing that Clell was constantly criticized for, in fact it became carping, was about the grammar he used on the show, setting such a bad example. And yet this man probably was one of the best-spoken human beings in our business. He was a fantastically
I
well-spoken
forgot
person.
that, but that's absolutely true. He was getting criticism all of the time, except for a few very knowing people, educators, who would say, well, his extremely bad example really helps us to focus on the problem if we want to start with the discussion of what Axel said.
We're going to see some real film clips of Axel right after we see our cartoon today, which is Shrimps for a Day, and then Don Stoltz and I will be talking a little bit more about Axel.